This video is sponsored by Dominion. Celebrate your fandom with incredible merch from your favorite movies, shows, and games. Whether you're a fan of Spider-Man, Star Wars, or Demon Slayer, they've got you covered. With free worldwide shipping and discounts of up to 60% off. Click the link in the description and use my code SADAT for 10% off your next order. Hello, salutations. What it do? It's Stat the Gamer, all father of the Do-Rag Gang. You know the vibes, like and subscribe. Let's get it. And today I got another Marvel's Avengers video for you. Guys, I'm sorry. I tried my best to avoid having to make this video. I really, truly wanted Melee Spider-Man to work, but sadly, I had to do it. I had to make a ranged build. No! I know. It's just unfortunately so much better than the Melee version. I tried my best. I tried different gear pieces, different combinations, different strategies, and nothing I did came close to what I've been able to pull off with this ranged version of Spider-Man, particularly because of a few gear pieces that make Spider-Man just absolutely insane. Not just at crowd control, he absolutely melts entire rooms. It is crazy. And the reason for this is because of two main gear pieces. So Public Menace Ward, as you see here, the most important perk is the second one. The first perk is good as well. It's auto defense stance. It gives you basically a shield that lasts for a few seconds that makes you invulnerable to attacks. But the second one, Spider Drone's Cunning, this is actually crazy. The Spider Drone deals status effect damage based on what type of range status gear is equipped. Now, his drone is the support heroic. You hit L1, the drone comes out. You can hold L1 so that it can defend a specific point that you tell it to. Otherwise, it will roam around the battlefield attacking enemies. Now, you want high emissions, which is the offensive version of this heroic. You don't want medical attention. You don't want defense stance. You want high emissions so that you can do the most damage possible. Because you have a gear piece for Spider-Man that has both gamma and plasma on it. You see range attacks deal gamma, the web blast does plasma. Because they're both status effects that are featured on the range gear, the drone will do both at the same time. That's right, every shot of the drone is going to be doing instant battery effect, which is crazy. As anyone familiar with the game knows, the battery effect increases your damage by a lot. And gamma and plasma are two of the strongest statuses in the game, because gamma and plasma, not only do they both spread, but they also deal damage to enemies over time. And gamma explodes and does even more damage. Now you're doing both of these at the same time because of the drone. And to round it off, I have this piece, Vigilante Optics, which increases the duration of the drone by 10 seconds. And I get a 20% increased critical attack chance with the Wrecking Ball. That is, of course, the ultimate heroic, which already increases Spider-Man's damage. So you pop all of these and you're just completely wiping out enemies left and right. Now, this also has a plasma potentiator, which increases the amount of plasma damage dealt by 20%. Now, from what I understand and what I've been hearing, potentiators currently do not work. They're bugged, along with, a ton of other things that are bugged and not working properly because of this patch. But when it does work, this is just more damage on top of that. But you don't even need it. Just with these two pieces, it's absolutely insane. The melee piece I have is the Discordant Gauge. I got this from doing the raid. It really doesn't matter for the purposes of this build what you have here. I mainly have it as a stat stick, and because Sonic is really powerful. So melee power attacks and light combo finishers do Sonic damage. Now, Spider-Man's web yank is a really, really good way of applying stats. Unfortunately, it is by far his best ability melee wise when it comes to applying status effect. The combo finishers take way too long and don't apply it nearly as cleanly. But here, you do the web yank, you can pull enemies towards you, and they get a lot of status effect just with that one motion. You can pull them on the ground, you can pull them in the air, and if the enemy is webbed up, you can also swing them around and throw them into a wall, into other enemies, spreading more status. or you can do a ground slam with it from the air. Now, so far what I've found, you can get this piece from 2 places. You can purchase it in Wakanda from the gear vendor, and you can also run the mission in the Pacific Northwest, Bad Blood. You can farm that over and over again. You can play it as many times as you want. And at the end, you can get this piece as a reward. The Public Menace Ward, I got this exotic version from Last Avengers Standing, the 14th floor hive. I definitely recommend running that because currently it gives you a much better chance at getting exotics than it did before the patch. But if you don't want to run Last of Understanding, you could also run Vault missions. It drops there as a legendary. The only difference is that you will not get that 3rd perk, Sense Purity, which increases damage resistance and duration of the spider sense by 2 seconds, which is not necessary. And the Vigilante Optics piece drops from the daily villain sectors that you, of course, collect from the various outposts. It drops with Valor and Resolve. It also can drop, as you see here, with all 3, Valor, Resolve, and Precision. I would obviously rather these stats be higher, but you don't need it to do a ton of damage. The 10-second extra duration of the drone comes in clutch. The rest of the build is pretty straightforward. I have the Cosmic Infinity for the Reactive Cosmic Surge and some Valor. I got the Blue ISO for the triple precision because this build mainly is looking to get precision and Valor for the stats. And the major artifact I have is the Tactagon. You could also just use the ring. I recommend using the ring when you're not in a boss fight because you're not going to need the extra damage for the regular enemies, and you're going to be dropping orbs all over the place, and picking up those orbs will allow you to keep your heroics charged pretty much all the time. Of course, there's also a bug where sometimes you're not able to pick up orbs at all, but assuming you don't run into that bug, this is a great major artifact to have on Spider-Man. But when you're fighting a boss and you're not going to be dropping orbs, switch to the Tactagon for the extra status damage. That's it. That's the build. Unfortunately, like I said, I'd rather be playing a pure melee Spider-Man, but unfortunately melee in this game is still not good compared to ranged, particularly in the case of Spider-Man, because for some reason his web status has no effect on bosses at all. I'm not sure if this is a bug or they did this intentionally. They have not given us a straight answer. We got one dev that seemed to not think it's right and are looking into it, and we had another dev that said that it is working as intended. So we'll have to get more clarity on that. Either way, whether it was intentional or not, they need to fix it because it's bad and makes Spider-Man a liability in boss encounters, which is quite frankly not fair because Spider-Man is a really fun character to play as, and it's a shame if people shy away from him because of how little damage he does in those scenarios. So in the meantime, I'll definitely be running him ranged until they either fix Spider-Man or until they do a more robust improvement to melee. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like and subscribe as usual. I'm Stott the Gamer, signing out.
Let's have some fun, yeah?